Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Savana and I create content about dogs and how you can live holistically with your pets. If this is something that interests you, I would love to have you stick around by you subscribing down below. Welcome to part 2 of shocking facts about your pet's food. If you haven't seen part 1, you have to, and I will link that video down below. I have 3 more facts for you, and they may be the most shocking of them all. So let's just jump into the facts. Shocking fact number 8 is that there may be diseased animals that were used to make your pet's food. Now I am going to read something from the bottom of page 8 from Food Pets Die For. Under the AAFCO guidelines, acceptable meat byproduct can include animal lungs, spleens, kidneys, brains, livers, blood, bones, low temperature fatty tissue, and stomachs and intestines freed of their contents. The guidelines indicate that meat byproduct can even include livers infested with worms or diseased with cirrhosis. Lungs can be filled with pneumonia. If an animal is deceased and declared unfit for human consumption, the carcass is acceptable for pet food. Even parts of animals such as stick marks, the area of the body where animals have been injected with antibiotics, hormones, and other drugs, are cut from the carcass intended for human consumption and used for meat byproduct in pet food. So basically it's saying areas where there are stick marks, where they have been injected with antibiotics, etc. They are just cut out of the animal so that animal can still be used for human consumption, but that part where it was injected is used for pet food. So basically your pet could be eating diseases, and the extrusion doesn't always kill everything in the pet food, which I am going to get into in point number 10 about some of the scary stuff that can still be left over in your pet's kibble even after the extrusion process. So moving on. Shocking fact number 9, and I think the thing that maybe everybody wants to know a little bit more about, and I've got some notes on this one about how I've talked about this a little bit in my last video, and this is how companion pets, so other dogs, cats, etc., can be found in your pet's food. Just let that sink in for a second. Your dog or cat could be eating other dog or cats. And that's not just the only problem with this point, which again I'm going to get to in number 10. So how would this happen? Basically, euthanized pets or even natural death from shelters, vet clinics, or roadkill are picked up by companies, rendering companies, and rendering basically means that these pets/animals are melted down and sold to big companies to be used in their pet foods. So I'm sure many of us are aware, or if you're not aware, thousands of animals every day are euthanized, especially in the United States, in shelters because nobody can adopt them. And because they have no home, obviously lots of them are not buried properly or cremated. This isn't saying that every shelter does this, but some of them, the animals are just picked up by these rendering companies, and they are turned into essentially, well, they're melted down and then sold and used in pet food. And then also vet clinics as well. If somebody brings in their animal to be euthanized and the person decides not to take it home and bury it or have it cremated, etc., the vet clinics have to dispose of them somehow, and they could go to these rendering plants. Now again, this is not every shelter, this is not every vet clinic, but in the book Food Pets Die For, she actually interviews lots of companies and some vets and some shelters that they do confirm that rendering companies do come and pick up the animals. So this is not an urban legend. This is very true. And as sad as it is, it makes sense. What are they going to do with those thousands of animals that they euthanize every day? Yes, like in the book on page 28, it says that it is confirmed in LA alone, 200 tons of dogs/cats are rendered per year. That is a lot. Now, you may be asking yourself, how can you ensure that your pet isn't eating other pets? And the ingredient that you want to look for is anything that is vague when it's talking about meat. So this, for an example, something that we would consider that would be meat meal. If your pet's food says just meat and it's not confirming what kind of meat it is, like if it says like chicken meal, then you know it's a chicken. If it says beef meal, you know it's a cow. But if it says meat meal and it does not specify the type of meat, that either means that it could be containing companion animals, or they have no idea the source of meat, because at these rendering plants, it's not just companion animals. Like it said, it could be roadkill, it could be other livestock that are all basically mixed together and then sold melted down, and then that melted down product is used in kibbles. So you really want to make sure that you know what kind of meat is in your pet's food. So stay away from anything that just says meat or meat meal. I was gonna say something else. What was it? What was it? Oh yes, okay, I remember now. Also, sometimes, okay, let me start over. Especially reading in this book, some of the people that she interviewed or tried to speak with, specific companies, they would say that there is not any companion animals in their food. But when you are getting this melted down sludge from rendering plants, nobody knows what's in it. And these companies don't have the time to test the meat meal to see if there is companion animals in it. And I don't even think that you could determine whether a dog or cat was in it. So lots of these companies aren't even aware that it is companion animals in the foods, and this is completely legal in Canada and the United States. Yeah, I mean, another point that I can make that's not a number on here is that there's not very many regulations on pet food. A lot of things go, they don't really care. You can look up the specific regulations and laws in your area if you decide to get the Food Pets Die For. I'm not affiliated with the book at all. It's just an awesome read, but if you do get it, it does go into the regulations at every country, which is awesome, and you will be very surprised at how minimal regulations that companies have to follow for pet food. Also, there is no bigger, I talked a little bit about this in my last video, there is no bigger governing testing of pet food. Every specific pet food has to do their own testing if the ingredients are quality or not. So obviously pet foods are going to say that there's no dogs or cats in their food, but really they might have no idea because they're just getting this rendered meat and they have no idea where it comes from. So that is really scary, and that actually leads me into my last shocking fact, number 10, being that the euthanasia drug can actually be found in food. So as I was mentioning earlier about how not everything is killed off in the extrusion process, this is true with the euthanasia drugs. So, sorry, I'm just looking down because I'm trying to find the name that I'm looking for here. Sodium pentobarbital, often used in euthanasia, can still exist in pet foods, and it survives the whole high temperature process. So the way that this euthanasia drug gets into the pet food is either companion animals that are euthanized and then used for your pet's food, or even like livestock and other other animals depending how they were killed for the food. So this euthanasia drug can actually stay in the pet foods. It does not disintegrate during the rendering process. And the things that people are concerned about with pets ingesting this euthanasia drug is that there's not a lot of testing done, so they don't know the effects long term of low doses of this euthanasia drug. Okay, sorry guys, my camera battery died. So, back to what I was saying. Some vets question whether ingesting these low levels of euthanasia drug actually increases their tolerance to the drug. So when the time comes that they do have to put down the pet, they may actually have to use a higher dosage than is usually needed to, I guess, get the job done. So that's pretty scary. Now in Food Pets Die For, she talks about one study that actually was done. It was done two separate times. I think once in, I think it was like 1999 and then again in 2000. And the study in 2000 found the sodium pentobarbital, often used in the euthanasia drug, in some of the following well-known brands. There was some other brands too that I didn't recognize, and actually when I tried looking them up I couldn't even find them, so they may be pet food companies that are out of business now. But some of the well-known ones that I'm sure lots of you will recognize are Old Roy, Kibbles and Bits, which is made by Heinz. Once again, Heinz is known for ketchup. Why do they own a dog food company? And Pro Plan Purina, which is scary because Purina is one of the brands we talked about that funds veterinary students and has vet brand food and all that stuff. So the sodium pentobarbital was found in these pet foods, and once again there is no long-term studies of the effects that it has on pets. So that is all of the shocking facts that I have for you today. I know that when I found out all this stuff, I was truly shocked. I'm sure you might be by some of this stuff too. Let me know down below what shocked you the most, and if you found any of these things in your pet's foods. I hope you enjoyed this video. It educated you a little bit. My next video, I am actually going to go through different ingredients in pet foods and what the words mean. Like, what does chicken byproduct mean opposed to chicken meal, and other ingredients that you should be looking for in your pet's food that shouldn't be in there, that might be a red flag if you are going to continue to feed kibbles, so you can buy and feed the best high quality kibble you can. So if you are interested in that, be sure to subscribe below so you don't miss that video. And if you press the little bell icon, it will actually send you a notification to your phone every time that I post. So thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. I'm thinking this might be a couple different parts because I know I've been filming for quite a while. But thanks so much for your support. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it so that I know. And I hope you'll stick with me through this series. Thanks guys, have a great day.